Bitcoin recently had a pullback. It was nearly 20%. If it had have pulled back further, then it would have gone down to 58,000, which would have been a 21% pullback from the highs down to the 382 Fibonacci retracement point. What actually happened is it went down to the 236 Fibonacci retracement point, found support on the 200 simple period moving average on the 4-hour time frame. Right now, it's finding resistance on the 50 simple moving average on the 4-hour time frame. For Bitcoin to go up to our target, which sits currently at $73,500, it needs to break past this prior lower high during the downward phase in the market. If it can break past that lower high at 69,000, so let's call it 70,000. If it breaks into 70k area, then that's fantastic, and we're absolutely anticipating a move up towards 73,000, back towards the highs, and to continue on with the uptrend. However, if it fails at this area, we will be very, very concerned about the possibility of it breaking down below 60,000 and then perhaps going and touching some of our lower targets. The reason that this has happened is because there's been a correction in Bitcoin recently. The reason there was a correction can be expressed quite simply by taking a trend line and trying to match up where these recent lows have come in at. Here's a trend line here. If I start it off from the start of this bullish trend and connect it up to here, to the next low, and then try and connect up with the rest of it, it can't connect up. And the same thing can be achieved if I take it from the next low, here's from this low, and connect it to this one, and so on. It struggles to connect 3 points, which you need for a valid trend line. However, if you actually go and connect it to this low, which we had, there's our third point. And this implies that the bullish trend in Bitcoin, which we've seen happen here, will actually continue and go on to pastures new up here into very much all-time high territory. This is super exciting, not only for Bitcoin, but for altcoins too. There's a reason for this, which is extremely important to understand right now. And what it's based on is stuff which has been known since 1905, whenever Dow Theory started to be published. What's that to do with? Well, it's to do with the averages. The averages being things like the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which we know is in all-time highs. This is the monthly Dow Jones chart. You can see it's at all-time highs. You can go to the SPX chart. This is the monthly. You can see it's at all-time highs. You can do the same with whatever you want. For example, here on the Nasdaq futures chart, futures, spot, anything, they're all the averages at all-time highs. How does that make a difference to Bitcoin? Well, like every other asset in the world, a rising tide will lift all ships. However, if we go and look at the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency specific averages, this is the equivalent of the SPX in terms of Bitcoin. We can see a crucial difference that actually this is not at all-time highs quite yet. This is very important. And it's not just the total one chart, which includes Bitcoin. If you exclude Bitcoin, you can see it's even further away. This is everything including Ethereum. If we go and include everything other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, we can see it's even further away. Now, what does this mean? Well, if Bitcoin can continue to go into pastures new, all-time highs, and break above the current target of 73,500 and start going into pure price discovery mode, we can anticipate that the total market cap will also go into all-time highs. So when we consider the list of things which have got there already, such as SPX, it's done. DJI, it's done. Nasdaq, it's done, right? Gold, yeah, it's at all-time highs. What is missing from this? Bitcoin. And it is so close. Now, Bitcoin has set an all-time high, except it had a recent correction to figure out the trend to connect up the trend line with 3 touches. It's now done that, So I'm very excited about the potential for the total market cap to actually go into all-time highs, making the average for all cryptos sync up with the major averages that people look to determine whether or not markets are moving bullishly together or not. This means that for all the altcoins, if I bring up the others chart here, I'm expecting to see a move which could take the total market cap of the major altcoins up to highs such as 1.5 trillion, or perhaps to the next area of 10 trillion. When we consider that the current price on the others chart, which is similar to total 2, total 3, except excludes a number of the largest coins and is a better representation of the altcoin market, I'm looking to see this thing go from where we're at now at 320 billion up to its high of 480 billion, which is a 50% increase from where we are right now, towards a new level at the 1618 at 1.5 trillion. This is significant, and it makes sense when you consider the sort of McDonald's arches of the chart. Can this go up towards the 1618 area? Well, yes, and it looks like we could be about to do that if everything comes together. What we need to see happening is, of course, SPX, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, gold, total market cap, all in all-time high territory, and we'll see an extremely large move happen for a lot of altcoins because the beta on these will be higher and catching up with the Bitcoin chart, which is pushing the rest of the market up in a scenario known as a rising tide lifting all boats. This is what's getting me excited about altcoins. Right now, of course, I'm excited about things like AI coins, where we've seen numerous positive moves today. 32%, 26%, 25%, 16% on the list of altcoins, with the worst performer today just being 5%. When I think about a coin which can achieve a movement of 32% in a day versus a movement on Bitcoin, which is significantly smaller in the one day, which is still a significant move of 11%, then I can consider that perhaps if there's a 3x beta on a lot of the better performing altcoins, that I'll be sniffing around those markets to try and find the next big move that will actually grow my account as a trader. I'm keeping my eye on the Bitcoin price chart because as the anchor for this market, which will really lead the rest of the market by its nose, Bitcoin is the thing to keep an eye on. And that is what today's show has been about. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rocky Outcrop. I'll see you all again next week. Join my Discord, discord.gg/RockyOutcrop, where you'll find me 7 days a week helping traders become better versions of themselves. See you next.